Hi, everybody. It's Alex Jarett again with Technology Executives Club. I'm here with my good friend Richard Doran, who's president and founder of Sierra ITS. Hi, Richard. How are you?
I'm great, Alex. How you doing?
Great. It's great to see you again. And today's leadership briefing is a great topic. Data is the new liability without governance. Great topic. And we're going to get into that in a second. Let me just share with everybody to watch this video and all of our videos at technologyexecutivesclub.com. Richard, I love this topic. I remember when ChatGPT, not when it first came out, but when it really emerged and everybody started using it. And then we started hearing horror stories about people's data showing up, proprietary data showing up. And then we also hear about other things that are happening because of the use of data, privacy issues, things like that. So you tell us, what do you mean about data is the new liability without governance? Frame this for us.
Years ago, as the technology and databases increased in size and terabytes and all that other fun stuff, people used to say data is the new oil. But now it's no longer the new oil, it's now uranium because it's that much more powerful. And so powerful when controlled, explosive when ignored. If you don't have the right data governance models in place, your data can turn on you. And we've worked with a lot of different clients in the last couple of years, helping them create, through staffing, create those frameworks and those structures that use their data as a nuclear reactor to make the business better and transform the business instead of turning it into a quagmire.
I love that metaphor. It seems like the amount of data that's now being created and used is just exponentially expanding.
Absolutely. And for big firms and small firms, because more data is being collected, IoT, ERPs, et cetera, et cetera. And data is the new liability without governance. Volume without control equals risk. The more data you collect, the more exposure you create. And without governance, every spreadsheet can be a legal or reputational challenge. And you got to be aware of that, and you got to set up structures and framework around that to insulate your firm from that risk. And that's where data governance comes into play.
We've established the fact that the amount of data is going up. There's no question about that. And AI is both using more data and creating more data. I think, like you said, it's like the ticking time bomb, a reputational time bomb. And how does one go from that? Or I've heard you say that creating compliance adds real value.
Yeah, Alex. So compliance is not the new currency, but it is a currency.
Yeah.
Because companies that can prove that they have control over their data win trust, funding, and partnerships. And they win trust within their executive leadership. They win trust within their vendor community or their partnership community.
Yes.
And then they can parlay that into success, which creates funding and additional business. We used to think, some of us, we used to think that governance was red tape. And it's necessary, and that tape keeps the structure together. The new data governance is not tape, it's glue. And it isn't red tape, it's market advantage.
Totally. When we started first doing AI in the enterprise events, we had a really good speaker on, and he talked about this very time about AI and governance and all that. And I didn't get it. And now I see what you're saying. I see, without naming names, companies that are just Wild Westing it, and people saying, I don't trust them.
Yeah, and if you take the time and you're deliberate about your approach to data governance,
yes,
it does take time at the beginning, but the acceleration afterwards, once you have that structure and framework set up, is amazing. I've seen it with a number of clients that we've worked with that have gone through the painstaking steps of setting up the governance, setting up the framework, cleaning the data. And cleaning the data is an ongoing effort. But once they got that done, the insights to the leadership and to the business groups is amazing, which then turns their organizations into value adds. And I've seen a lot of careers get enhanced because of taking a more deliberate approach to data governance.
Totally makes sense. And as a technology leader, you've got to be able to build the case and sell that to the board, because I can imagine the board is also thinking, God, we built all those data lakes, we did all the other stuff. AI seems so easy. You've got to really have a thoughtful approach to explaining the risk, but they do hear risk.
Yeah. And there is risk.
Yeah.
And the risk side is data integrity, but the risk side is also the people side. And Alex, people are the real firewall in this game. Tools automate policies, but it's trained talent and employees on the inside with clear and accountable missions that prevent issues and breaches. And at the end of the day, that's where the risk is.
It's so good that you brought up the people part. It makes so much sense in this context, because I hear with all the cybersecurity issues that are going on, and this is a related topic, obviously, with all the cybersecurity issues, it often starts with a person.
Yeah.
They click on the wrong thing. I think this is very similar to make sure that you're upskilling all your employees to let them know how to appropriately use AI. That's part one. And the other part is what you're talking about, is these bigger projects where you're cleaning up your data. It really is the new oil, or the new, what'd you call it? The uranium.
We call it uranium, yeah.
Yeah, it really is it's uranium when it's, like you said, when it's governed and when it's managed. Because in the data world, if we're going to talk about making better decisions, I have heard this so many times over the years. There's data silos. What is the truth? If we're talking about data, what's the data truth? I think that AI can be the technical bridge that helps you discover what your real truth is.
Absolutely. One of our clients was struggling with inconsistent data practices across various departments, spreadsheets, data lakes, disparate databases, and no one single source of, as you had said, Alex, truth. So we worked with their leadership and brought in a seasoned data governance consultant who built a unified framework.
That's interesting.
And trained the teams on accountability. And then within 6 months, audit findings went down substantially. If not, I don't think it was zero, but it was pretty darn close. Accuracy improved. And the company regained the confidence of both its regulators and the board. But it was hard work. And again, it goes back to, you got to have the right people in the right seats with the right knowledge.
Yeah.
And then you have to let them do their magic to help you create the solution that's going to move the organization forward.
It's great that you brought up that story, because I didn't even know you helped people in that way. How do you typically help companies? They say, okay, we know we're going to do AI, we know we're going to do data. Richard, how do you typically get involved in that? How can you help people that are on that juncture right now?
Yeah, Alex, it typically starts with someone in the security group, data governance group, finance group, who knows that their data isn't as clean as they need to be in the terms of uranium explosive.
Yeah.
But also they don't have the right governance in place so that when the data is unified, the right people have access and the wrong people don't have access, and then how you can accelerate transformation within the organization. So we get involved usually in the beginning of that process, and it's because they don't have the right talent inside the org. And they may have looked at big consulting firms, they may have looked at other consultants, and they've come to us because we have a track record of success with this. And We understand the business side, we understand the technology side, and as importantly, we understand the people side,
Yes,
which can help create the solution.
that is a great insight. I didn't realize that you help people with this type of fractional executive. That's great. Richard, another great segment. This one on a really big topic. That is the new liability without governance. If you get nothing else from this video, get the fact, don't ignore governance. And I think a lot of you technology leaders intuitively, they already know this, but maybe this will give you the extra oomph to say, you got to put your foot down and make sure you really do it for the good of the organization.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it really is the foundation of success for transformation.
Yeah, it really is. Richard, another great leadership briefing. Thank you so much for your time and being part of the community.
Of course, Alex. Great seeing you.